This little caterpillar and his friends are made with one stamp set and one die set, cute as a bug from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to show you exactly how to put this card together, including how I colored this little guy in about 2 minutes. Welcome to Stampers Club. I'm Karen Trelfa, and we have this wonderful card to make with you today. I started out with some Mossy Meadow cardstock. This is a half a sheet, so it's 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to use my bone folder to get a nice crisp little edge. And then I'm going to bring in some of this beautiful designer series paper. I don't know if you've checked this out, but this designer series paper, Cute as a Bug, is just absolutely stunning. And it has so many variations and sets that you can use lots of extra backgrounds. And of course, the flip side is a little bit more muted, which is always great with our designer series paper. All of the supplies for this card are in a link below you, so you can certainly pop over to that link on my website and purchase these items. Okay, so we're going to add this designer series paper. Super cute here. And also, if you like instructions, I share those in my email. So the link below to sign up for my email, you can find it below in the description, and you can get some extra detail like that. Okay, then I'm going to bring in some of the Mossy Meadow and Basic White cardstock, which I have die cut with the Sweet Words labels and dies. Love how these layer up. They're just a beautiful set of dies. And I'm going to start with some of the new in color Peaceful Pine ink and this great Hello Friend greeting. There's just so many cute sets here, right? And we're going to stamp this right towards the top here. Right like that. Perfecto mundo, right? And then we're going to adhere that to the Mossy Meadow. Gives it a nice sharp background. I love these layers. This is a brand new stamp set. It just became available this month. You'll have to check out all of the new items in the catalog. They are absolutely wonderful. But I really like how we have this stitching and this nice edging on here. Super nice. Now this, I am going to put on some dimensionals. You know me and dimensionals. They are just part of what I think is absolutely necessary on a card. They are just way too cute not to use. Okay, get these backings off. These are nice and easy, right? And we're going to just center that on this card. And you have that beautiful mushroom background poking out there. Okay. And I'm going to bring in some die cuts that I've already die cut. So I have some 2 little mushrooms and a 3rd little mushroom background stamp, the tops and the tops for those. And I'm just going to assemble these really quickly. They're very easy. I'm going to use liquid glue, the Tombow liquid glue, because to me, that's really the easiest way to add some of these smaller elements. And a little bit goes a long way. You don't need much adhesive on these. They definitely fill in very nicely. And these just kind of layer up over the top of the base. So you have this two-tone, that nice little pretty color here. That is Cajun Craze. And I'm going to add another little one on the small mushroom, which is Mossy Meadow, to follow with my color theme that I have in this designer series paper. I do that very often when I'm trying to do color coordinations. I use the designer paper and I look at what I can add to that as complementary colors. It makes it very easy. Okay, so we're going to get this one. I think I'm just going to put it right up on the top there. All right, glue down. Okay, and then I'm going to do the smaller one on the side. And I've just added some liquid glue to that base just so that I can set these tiny items right on top of it. I'm not using any dimensionals on this because it doesn't really need it. I can't imagine I just said that. Because you know me and dimensionals, they kind of have to go on everything that I do. All right, we're going to let that dry for a minute. And then we can start adding these mushrooms to the card. So I started with this large one And I put one large dimensional on the background and a little bit of liquid glue at the base of it, because I don't want to get too much of this. Of course, I just put glue all over my table. That's a smart thing to do. And we're going to just kind of offset this a little bit onto the side. Yeah, towards the bottom like that. But this gives me where I have a little dimension up here, but this bottom section stays flatter and closer to the card. And I'm going to do the same thing with the smaller mushroom. One dimensional on the behind the top mushroom top, and a little bit of liquid glue on the base to help hold that down there. And we're going to layer that over the top of this one. Yeah, that looks good right about there. Okay. And then I'm going to use a dimensional on the back of the small little cluster of mushrooms and put that over the base. So it looks like we have this little trio of mushrooms here, right? So he's kind of cute. Then we're going to get some stamping done. Get my black ink out here and my little caterpillar bug. Get it nice and inked up. Right? And stamp that right there. Super cute. So like I said, you can subscribe to my channel here, or you can get some get some things in email by signing up for my email list, which is at stampersclub.com. The link is below. I'm going to color this with Stampin Blends, and I'm going to start with the dark timid tiger, and I'm only going to add a little bit. I want to add it to the little dots in his little back here. And I'm going to just add a little stripe down the lines that are already there in the stamp set. Then I'm going to come in with some dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to just kind of pull this around here. It'll start to bleed where I have the orangish color and the Daffodil Delight color. It'll kind of pull those two together and soften those lines that I did. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the light timid tiger also, just to do some additional shading in here. We want to have a little more color, and come back with the Daffodil Delight and pull that in. So this, I came back with the light daffodil. And I'm going to start pulling that dark color out into the caterpillar. That's the nice thing with Stampin Blends, is it really pulls the color out and lets it blend in. So you don't end up don't have to have this really like defined line here. By working in some small circles, you end up bleeding the one color into the other color. And you end up with some very nice little shading. Get his little arms here. That works there. Then for the leaf, I'm going to use Old Olive. I'm going to start with the dark Old Olive. And I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of an outline on the lines that are already there. That's usually the stamp design does a lot for you, so you don't have to really overthink it when you're coloring in, because the artist that designed the stamp set did a wonderful job. And then the same thing here. We're going to get these colored in together, like so. And I'm going to keep working in small circles so that I soften this line around the edge and in between the shading for where I drew the striped lines. And then we'll do this half, same thing. I'm going to work in small circles and get that definitely colored out there. Wonderful. And then you end up with this beautiful little two-tone leaf. It does not take much effort to make that happen. And you end up with this really pretty little two-tone that goes along both of them. Then we're going to get this die cut out. So let me grab the dies here, which have lots and lots of elements. There's those mushrooms, the mushroom tops, and you have lots and lots of choices. But I'm going to use this particular die here to get that die cut out. And then you end up with this cute little image here. Super, super nice and easy to do, right? I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals on here because we definitely want him to be stacked up a little bit. And actually, I want him a little higher than the mushrooms that he's going to be next to. So I'm actually going to double stack these dimensionals. It's another way to get some additional layering and texture on your card is by having a few of the elements have double stacked dimensionals instead of single. And then we kind of get this guy right there. I think I want him to be standing up a little bit better, okay? And I'm going to pull in a couple of more elements that I've already die cut. These are the little butterfly, the dragonfly, and the snail that are in the die set. Those are actually all on one die, so it's actually super easy to even have those happen right there. And I'm going to get some liquid glue. I want to put, I think I'll put it on the back of it first because you just need a little dot. It does not take a whole lot here. And I'm going to have my little snail friend towards the bottom of my little caterpillar there. And I'm going to put a little dot of glue right there and a little dot on the top of the mushroom for the dragonfly and the cute little butterfly. Now you could have put him on some dimensionals, but I think he looks better just attached right to that card. And then you have this very cute as a bug hello friend card. Now who wouldn't love to receive that in the mail? He's just so stinking cute. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some of the Ladybug Garden epoxy shapes. I love these cute little ladybugs. They're absolutely adorable. And I'm going to get one of the larger little clear ones, and I want to put it on this little green mushroom. And I'm going to put a small one over the top of it. So it looks like there's like some little dewdrops on there. I'll pull that up to the camera in a second to show you. And then I want to get this cute little ladybug over here on the leaf. He's just crawling around. Isn't that adorable? Isn't he just so cute? See how this looks like little dewdrops on there? Absolutely stunning. And you guys, I have all of the in the description below. I have all of the supplies listed in a link that you can go ahead and grab those. This is live to go ahead and purchase right now. And I want to have everybody know that I love stamping with you, and I hope that you enjoyed this cute as a bug card. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel too, because you want to make sure you grab some more videos with me. And you have a stamp happy day. Bye now.